Okay, here we are with Foundry Essentials, a quick demonstration of the most basic steps in mission creation in Foundry. If you've been making missions for a while, this seems second nature, but thinking back on it, I was as lost as most of the new players are when it comes to some of the simplest steps to constructing a mission. First and foremost is the dreaded map transition. Let's see if I can simplify a bit. First, you must begin in the map screen. You must have an objective of some kind on the target map before you can create a transition from your source map. For instance, I've made map 1 and I'm dropping on a place marker as my objective. Okay, I'm going to enlarge the radius of the place marker so that it's easy to trip by a passing spacecraft. Now, the choice of where to start will not present itself until you've dropped your first objective into the storyline. I say line because Foundry is linear. You cannot do branching missions as of yet. There is no way to have multiple endings. You may have multiple choices on the way to the same ending, but that's for a future discussion. Once in the story screen, we want to place a marker in from the library section on the right. In the story screen, it reads Reach Marker. That's because it refers to the action. In the map screen, you place the marker. In the story screen, you provide the action that takes place once the marker is reached. Now that we have a marker on the storyline, we must fill in the mission text. These always have to be filled in or the mission will not publish. This is the text that will be visible on the right while playing the mission. It's used to indicate the objective to the player, turning green once completed. Okay, now where's the transition? Well, we have a couple of things to look at first. After the mission text is the waypoint setting. Automatic indicates that a large circle will be displayed on the player's map around this objective. If set to none, the circle will not appear. Underneath the divider line, we have the marker identifier. The small button on the right with the 3 dots is where you choose which marker you want at this point in your story. Project map will automatically be populated once the marker is chosen. Reach text is the text that will show in the center of the player's screen once the marker is triggered by the player's ship or captain. It is optional. You do not need to fill in to publish. Back to the little button with the 3 dots. Hitting the button opens a selection screen that will list all the maps available to you, including your own custom maps. To choose the destination and create a transition, pick the marker from map 1. Voila! Map transition. Now we've got our map transition dialog box and a few of those little dotted buttons again. I'll take it from the top. Earth space dock is the default and can be changed by hitting the Leave From button. You can change to wherever you like in the known galaxy or where Cryptic lets you, but the choices are many. We're sticking with an entry door at ESD. Next is costume. That's self-explanatory. Whoever you want to talk goes into that window. Style is the emotion you want your character to display. Text is what he or she is going to say. And the button is the player response that triggers the map change. Below the divider line is the location of your spawn point on map 1. That can be changed if you have multiple spawn points, but that's hardly ever the case. And finally, map mission, which will be the heading on the right that remains over the map's entire list of objectives from the mission text fields of those boxes when added to the storyline. Observe while I make the choices. Now, when you're finished making all your choices, you can playtest your mission to see if everything came out right, and possibly if Hirogen make a decent chicken soup. That is really all there is to it, but seeing it done is no substitute for the hands-on approach. So get in there and bring your stories to life. I know I'm looking forward to playing. This has been Foundry Essentials. If there's a technique you'd like to see demonstrated, drop us a line in the mailbag. That's mailbag@primetimeugc.com.